Hey everyone! Welcome to the first ever voiced video made by me, Netrafine. Now, this is an AI-generated voice, since I'm not comfortable with having my voice on the internet yet. But anyway, that's besides the point. You read the title. Today, we'll be talking about the character banners in version 5.0 of Genshin Impact. This version is really exciting and that people have been waiting for, myself included. This version will not only feature 3 new characters, but a whole new nation, quests, and a whole lot of primogems. We can talk about that in a different video though. Right now, we're talking about one of the most anticipated concepts, the new characters. But all these characters are amazing. Who should I wish for? Well, don't worry, because today I'll be helping you decide who to wish for. Now, before we get started, I just want to say that if you already have a character you want, that's okay. I really want Kinich. So, this video is for the people who don't know about the new characters or just don't know who to wish for. Anyway, let's get started. So, let's first see who we have here to work with. In Phase 1, we will see a rerun of our favorite Anemo boy, Kazuha. Along with him, we will be seeing our first 5-star from Natlin, which is Mualani. Now, let's start with talking about her, since you probably want to know a lot about this new character. So, Mualani is a new 5-star in Genshin who will be a Hydro Catalyst user. She also is one of my favorite designs so far. So, we will be talking about Mualani's gameplay, animations and other special talents and abilities. Also, we rank characters by the following. Are they fun to use? Are they free to play and are they worth your time and primogems? Some pretty obvious aspects, but still very important when talking about these characters. So, let's start. So, Mualani uses a surfboard type thing as her main weapon, which looks to be a very cute shark. She also had a really cute dancing animation. For Mualani's basic attacks, she throws what looks to be a fish at her enemies. What type of fish? I really don't know, but that shouldn't really matter. She does this fish attack 4 times, and on her final hit, she hits the enemy with a powerful hydro attack, which uses her surfboard. After using her skill, Mualani gains 60 Night Soul points. What are those? I'm not too sure. But along with gaining those 60 Night Souls, she enters the Night Souls blessing state. When she does this, Mualani mounts her surfboard, and her movement speed and interruption resistance is increased. Basically, this means she's faster and the enemies have a low chance of stopping her attacks. During this state, she can also continuously create Night Soul points. If you use her skill again or run out of Night Soul points, her Night Soul's blessing ends. So, I guess the Night Soul points allow her to enter this state. When in her Night Soul's blessing state, Mualani can move on water, kind of like Farina, which can make exploring easier. When attacking while being in this state, Mualani's basic attacks convert to shark bites from her shark surfboard, dealing hydro damage to her opponent based on her max HPH. So, you may want to give her a lot of HP for a lot of damage. This attack can also be used in midair. When Mualani touches an enemy when she's in this state, she attaches a mark to the enemy, which is called the Marked as Prey effect. This ability gains 1 momentum wave stack, which can go up to a maximum on 3 stacks. You can gain 1 stack from the same enemy, but only every 0.7 seconds. So yeah, her skill is pretty cool, but complicated. Anyway, on to her burst. When using her burst, she fires a shark missile, which deals AoE hydro damage based on Mualani's max HP. As for her special abilities, when Mualani is in an area with Phlogiston mechanics which are only in Natlin, 15 Phlogiston will be restored when Mualani interacts with any harvestable item. Also, any resources nearby that are in Natlin will appear on the map, as long as you have Mualani in your team. Anyway, that is everything about Mualani. She's a really great and fun character, who I think can make the game more enjoyable. With that being said, I don't think she is a must-pull character. She's a really good character, but not a must-have. Also, personally, I will not be wishing for her, since I am already getting Kinich. Anyway, that was a long ramble. Let's move on to Kazuha. So, this won't be a long ramble, since I'm sure we all know Kazuha pretty well. This will just be a summarize of his kit. So, Kazuha's basic attacks are nothing special. He is an Anemo sword user, in case you didn't know. He attacks up to 5 times with his basic attack. Anyway, on to his skill. Aka, the most important and eye-catching part about Kazuha. Basically, Kazuha creates a wind vortex that sucks enemies close to him. If you plunge down while he is in the air, his attack converts to Anemo and vacuums the enemies a bit more. This is one of the best crowd control abilities in the game, making Kazuha an automatic want for most players. For his burst, Kazuha unleashes an Anemo attack that creates an Anemo dome-type effect that surrounds the battlefield. This ability consistently deals Anemo damage to the enemies. If this dome effect comes in contact with another element, it swirls with that element, dealing it to the enemies. For example, if the dome comes in contact with pyro, it works with the pyro and the enemies are consistently hit with pyro damage. This makes his incredibly good for DPS showcases. Also, when Kazuha is in the team, he decreases stamina consumption by 20%. This is only with sprinting stamina though, when Kazuha uses his skill and his skill swirls. Alright, onto the second phase for version 5.0, where we will see a rerun of the Electro Archon herself, Raiden Shogun, along with a new Natlan character and my personal favorite, Kinich. Let's start with Kinich. So, Kinich is a 5-star Dendro Claymore user and I absolutely love him. He has a cute little companion called Aja, who I absolutely love too. Now, Kinnich's basic attacks with his claymore up to 4 strikes I think it is. Nothing special really comes out of this ability. For his skill, Kinich throws a grappling hook forward. If there is an enemy nearby, Kinich will attack the grappling hook to that enemy then enter the Night Soul Blessing state. Same as Mualani's, but Kinich enters this stage with 0 Night Soul points. If there is no enemy nearby, Kinich will just grapple hook the sky and launch himself into the air. You can also hold his skill to aim where you want to be launched. After he attaches to an opponent, Kinnich's Night Soul Blessing lasts 10 seconds and generates 2 Night Soul points every second, so that's 20 Night Soul points. In the Night Soul Blessing state, Kinich performs different attacks. When he uses his basic attack in this state, Kinich will fire loop shots and as he circles the enemy, depending on his movement direction. This deals dendro damage and generates 3 Night Soul points. When his Night Soul points are at the max, you can use his skill again to use Scale Spiker Cannon, which consumes all Night Soil points and converts them into dendro damage. You can also hold his skill to aim and shoot the Scale Spiker Cannon at an enemy. After firing the Scale Spiker Cannon, Kinich will grapple onto the enemy, while in Night Soul Blessing state. After grappling or firing Scale Spiker Cannon, a blind spot will appear near the enemy. When Kinich goes in the blind spot, it will disappear and Kinich will generate 4 Night Soul points. For his burst, Kinich unleashes his companion, Aja, and they deal AoE dendro damage. Aja will unleash his Dragon Breath at intervals, which also deal AoE dendro damage. If Kinich is in Night Soul Blessing while using his burst, the blessing's duration is extended. Kinich also allows you to see the location of nearby resources on your map when he is in the team, just like Mualani. Additionally, if you collect these items, your movement speed is increased. Anyway, that's all for Kinich. His skill also sounds confusing. Honestly, I think he's a good character, but not a must-pull. You should do just fine without having him. With all that being said, I'm still getting him regardless. Anyway, let's move on to our final character. So lastly, we'll be talking about the Raiden Shogun or AI. Now, Raiden Shogun I'm sure we are all pretty familiar with, since she is the Electro Archon and came out in version 2.2. She is a 5-star Electro-Polar user, and one of my favorite characters. Raiden's basic attack are like every other character, but she had a special charged attack that performs an upward slash. However, this is nothing special either, just unique. Raiden is one of the best characters in the game for her skill and burst. Using her skill, Raiden creates an electro slash that deals electro damage. The catch is that this ability will convert any party members' attacks into electro damage every 0.9 seconds. For example, Let's say I use Raiden's skill and then switch to Alhaitham. When attacking an enemy with Alhaitham's attacks, every 0.9 seconds, Alhaitham will deal electro damage. The same goes for every character in your party. This makes Raiden an insanely useful unit, especially in Dendrocomps. When Raiden uses her burst, she gets a huge electro damage boost that converts every one of her attacks into electro damage for a few seconds. This makes Raiden one of the best electro units, since she can apply a huge amount of electro damage to enemies, and she works great with any Dendro character. Also, her design is just amazing. I would say Raiden is a must-pull, especially if you want to clear content quickly and efficiently. Alright, now we've spoken about every character. Now, let's answer the question we've all been waiting for. Which character should you wish for? I'm going to rank them to give you a better idea. Also, the new characters will be ranked lower than others, just because they are new and we don't have much experience or knowledge over them. That doesn't mean it's their final ranking forever. It's just their ranking given the information we have now. Without further ado, let's rank them starting from the top character. The character who can help you with anything in the game. The character who I think is the best choice to wish for in 5.0, and that character is Kazuha. Kazuha is still one of the best Anemo users in the game. He helped me through some of the hardest content in the game. He is great for swirling and it's just the best feeling in the world. When he groups enemies together, he is by far the best character to wish for in this version. Coming in at second place, which is no surprise, we have the Raiden Shogun. She is one of the best electro units in the game, making any character have consistent electro damage. And she is the Electro Archon, which just goes to show how strong she is. Then in third place, this is my bias opinion, I choose Kinich. Besides Alhaitham, I think he's one of the best Dendro DPSs in the game. He's also insanely useful for exploration and I absolutely love his design. And finally, we have Mualani. She is also insanely good for exploring and she's really cute. So, those are my final rankings of characters you should wish for in version 5.0. Of course, you can wish for whoever you'd like. My opinion and ranking doesn't need to change that. Like, I could easily get Raiden, but I'm instead getting Kinich. This was just to help those who are confused or want to know what these characters do. So, who are you pulling for in version 5.0? Let me know in the comments. Also, please like if you enjoyed this video and please subscribe if you're interested in anime and gaming content. That's all for now, and remember to drink water today. Lights out.